Well, hello, students. It's Mr. T, sixth grade. I want to talk to you a little bit about what it looks like to hit a brick wall. Let me tell you a quick story. When my parents met my in laws for the very first time, my in laws were staying at a hotel. And so it was a big deal. Two families getting together to meet for the first time, hoping everybody gets along. They were staying at a hotel. So my dad and I went to this hotel to meet my future in laws. And in front of us were a husband and wife that were walking. The wife was on her cell phone. The husband was pulling the luggage. Um, they're about 20 feet ahead of us. And when you have those moments where you feel like you see something in slow motion and you wish you could stop it from happening, but you're just not fast enough? Well, that's what happened. It was like my dad and I were watching something in slow motion. The husband and wife were both walking towards the sliding doors. The husband didn't have any distractions in front of him. He was only pulling the suitcase. The wife, though, was in a really seemed like a really important phone call. And as we watched this happen in slow motion, my dad and I couldn't believe what we were about to see. The wife on the cell phone walked right into a glass panel on the side of the sliding doors, not the sliding doors, smacked her face. Boom. Luckily, no glass was shattered. What do you think happened next? Well, she turned to her husband and started yelling at him. I can't believe you didn't tell me that those weren't the sliding doors. You made me look like a complete, went off and off and off. And my dad and I, of course, did the only responsible thing a person does in that moment, which is bust up laughing. We've all been there, been embarrassed in public. But this lady hit an invisible wall that she wasn't paying attention to. And I think that's a really good illustration of what we want to talk about when it comes to stress and some stressors that we can see coming and some that we can't see coming. So let's talk about when study skills can help us avoid hitting that brick wall. So the first question to ask ourselves is, what is stress? Now, this comes from a lot of our content that we've hit in fifth grade, and also we're covering again in sixth, which is about looking for signs of stress or anxiety, listening for those things, and then linking our friends and ourselves to trusted adults. This can have to do with stress, anxiety, even serious topics like depression or concerns about a person's safety. So, looking for those signs, listening for those cues or signs, and linking them. So, what is stress? Well, stress is what you feel when you react to pressure, either from the outside, from another person, from another situation, or things that we feel on the inside. That can be wanting to do things perfect, having an anxiety that nobody else even knows about. So that stress can come from outside forces and it can come from within our own selves, just feeling like we're not good enough or feeling like things have to be perfect. When I think about stress like this, I like to think about a Dr. Pepper bottle. If we were to drop a 2 liter of Dr. Pepper from a 2-story building, the bottle might not break, but it would definitely fizz up. We'd feel the pressure on the bottle. And if we were to take that lid off really quick, well, it would not be a good idea. That stress that hit that bottle, that pressure hit that bottle from the outside. But if we were to just shake the bottle over and over again without dropping it off a 2-story building, it would also feel that stress and that pressure building, that carbonation. So we can think about carbonation in Dr. Pepper the same way that we can have stress. It can be a force that gets us from the outside or a force that builds from the inside. Stress is normal, though, and carbonation in Dr. Pepper is normal, too. So anxiety, though, that's something different. Anxiety is a sign of stress overload. So that would be if we were the Dr. Pepper bottle, it would be the fizzing up of taking that lid off too quickly and that carbonation just pouring out. Stress overload or anxiety can be a breakdown in emotions. It can be getting angry. It can be shutting down where we used to do things that really brought us a lot of enjoyment. It can look a lot of different ways. So a great way to think about stress and anxiety is to kind of compare ourselves or to use that picture of that Dr. Pepper bottle and how the right amount of stress is a good thing, just like the right amount of carbonation in a drink is a good thing. But too much of that, it's not helpful. Here's a picture of soda dispenser. And we see lots of different tabs. So if you were to go in a restaurant or you were to be doing your own self-serve of soda, you might be getting different flavors. And here's some different flavors of stress. Having too much homework. Our parents can cause that stress overload. Friends wanting to fit in, that can cause stress and stress overload. Friends can be that outward stress, and wanting to fit in is that inward stress. Wanting a girlfriend or boyfriend, or just wanting someone to accept you, that can be an internal stress. Being a part of a team or a club where a coach or a leader is really, really pushing you, it feels like they're being tough on you, that's a stress from the outside. And social media, that's a stress that both can be external, something that is being, someone is causing that stress to us, and it can also be a stress that we start to experience within ourselves. Now, here's something that you may not have really heard before. Just like we talked about stress actually being a good thing, let's talk about that for a moment. We know that distress, this is a form of stress that's a negative thing. If you think about the old term, a damsel in distress, meaning a woman or someone who has been, it doesn't have to be a woman, it could be someone who is being attacked. They're in distress. Distress makes us shut down or run away. It doesn't do anything helpful within us. Eustress comes from the word euphoria, where we think about a euphoric feeling is feeling awesome, like everything is awesome from the Lego movie, right? So eustress comes from that word euphoria. Eustress actually helps us to face a problem or to try a strategy. So when we think about eustress, it could be getting ready for a team tryout or for a performance. We feel those butterflies in our stomach, or we feel kind of anxious, but we're pumped to do it. That's what eustress is. So when we think about stress, like that carbonation, it can be too much where it shuts us down, or it can be the right amount that motivates us for a test, for a game, or for a performance. What are things that sixth graders stress about? Take a moment and think about that. You can pause the video if you'd like. Sixth graders stress out about some of the things we just talked about. Being a part of teams or clubs, being on time to school, even missing the bus can be stressful. Homework can definitely be stressful. Getting organized, and we know that family stress is a real thing for all of us. Now, one thing I want to talk about, though, is the stress that we have when it relates to school. Sometimes we have this myth or this invisible wall that we don't know is there, going back to that picture about the invisible wall. It might be how we look at or how we approach school. We might think that, hey, we don't really need to write things down or stay organized in a very important way because that's what our teachers are for. Or being unorganized has just always been around us. We've always just been a messy person. But it's worked out okay because somebody's always kind of bailed us out or helped us. Well, that's an invisible wall or an invisible glass or invisible brick wall, whatever picture we want to use, that's waiting for you, unfortunately, if you don't correct your path. You will hit that. Now, when do sixth graders hit those paths or 12, 13-year-old, 14-year-olds? Well, a lot of times that's at junior high, and you're going to hear me talk a lot about preparing you for success in junior high. Junior high has a different teacher every period. There's a lot more activities. There's a lot of movement within our junior high setup. A lot of kids are really, really pumped about the idea of having more freedom. But that can also create a lot more opportunity to have to be responsible. And some kids are ready for that and some aren't. Procrastination. That means putting off. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And on this slide, it says getting burned by procrastination. What that means is you keep putting off an assignment or a project, and then the deadline comes and you don't get any extra time. You get burned and it hurts your grades. Reaching your expertise limit, that could be that you have been really, really solid or really a good student in math or science. And then all of a sudden, a new concept or the speed at which you have to learn a new concept, like algebra, possibly you weren't ready for. And when you hit your expertise limit and you are no longer as confident academically in something, and we all have those areas that we're not as confident in as others. When you hit that expertise limit, that can be like hitting that brick wall. So what do we do with this stress? These stressors we're talking about junior high are those stressors that can sometimes hit us. They're those external stressors. And if we don't approach them the right way, they don't turn into eustress, the positive stress that gets us pumped. It's distress, which shuts us down. So think about this right now. Your classroom is organized by desks, by lockers. Think about our school building. There's so many procedures and things that we've had to think about this school year about organizing our school and specifically your own class. But every class is different. There's a lot of things that are the same in our classrooms, and there are things that show our teachers' personality and that show our own personalities that are different from our class in fifth grade or fourth grade. There are some skills that work for nearly everyone, and not everyone's going to use them the same way, but these general skills can help us when external forces are in front of us to help us not run right into them. Planners can help. Having a system of organizing with notebooks, using a calendar, having a permanent dedicated space for working at home and using that time wisely in a dedicated time. And also, you're going to hear me talk about scheduling your free time. So, there's strategies for organizing school and home, and those can be different, but they have a lot of similarities. They can be kind of similar. If you have a planner and you can pull it out right now, this would be a great time to look at that planner. I use a planner every single day. I have a planner in front of me right now as I'm thinking about organizing my day, my week, and my month. I use my planner, and this is one thing I want to talk about, organizing and planning your free time. Lots of junior high students think a planner is a waste of time or kind of tedious. Not everybody, but some do. You can use a planner on your phone, on your tablet, or a physical paper planner. It really doesn't matter. But a planner really provides you some benefit when you don't just put down things you have to do, but things that you're looking forward to. So on my planner, I have things I'm looking forward to. I have my kids' birthdays. I have vacations that I'm looking forward to. I have activities that I can't wait to do. I have my free time activities that maybe I don't want to do, but I definitely don't want to forget about, like going to the dentist. I write all of this stuff on one planner. And it forces me to look at my planner every day because I'm looking forward to things that are on it, as well as things that I don't want to miss. So my planner includes not just scheduling my academic time, but scheduling my free time also. You're going to frequent cleaning or frequent organizing of our spaces is so important, whether it's a locker, a desk, or our space at home. Frequently looking through and finding out what we can get rid of. Maybe it's an assignment that we've already received a grade on and we know it's been entered in the grade book. You don't have to hold on to that anymore. So frequently kind of getting rid of or recycling or trashing those things that are no longer of need is a really important cycle that we need to be into. Monthly calendars, so things that you want to hit every month. This could go on your planner as well. So thinking about a space at home, and this is really important for students that are doing online learning. If we're out of school for an AMI day that we're doing on Canvas, even if we're just doing our homework, where is that space, the dedicated spot that we use every single day? And if it's a specific time, that works best. I can't work laying down on my bed. I'll just fall asleep. That's me. And so for some of you, having a very dedicated space is essential. For some of you, you might think it's just a luxury. Oh, it would be nice. But I'm going to tell you that eliminating those distractions, being able to remove maybe turning off the TV or not being in a position where you're facing the TV, maybe even not having music playing. I love to listen to music. Some of you can study and work just with a little bit of low playing music in the background, but for others, you're just going to start air drumming. You're going to start just rocking out or whatever it is. And that's me. I can't listen to music while I'm working. So I have to make my home workspace a dedicated spot that really helps me to focus. And having that time every day and a place and a routine is really, really helpful too. You talked about scheduling free time, but that can include your sports. It can even include taking a break, even writing down. For some of us, this you're not going to go this detailed, but I'm going to tell you if you will use your planner for something that's not just a have to, but something that you're looking forward to, you're going to create that routine of looking at your planner because it's something that you really rely on. So, the question we want to ask you, sixth grade, is what is one thing that you could start doing or keep doing that adds to your organizational success? That could be adding in your best friend's birthdays into your planner. If you have a planner, usually there's a spot in it in the right hand corner or somewhere on the side that talks about writing a goal or note. This would be a great place to put that on a weekly view of your calendar of your planner. I know that CRI usually gives out those planners. So if you have one available and you have it with you as we're watching this, I think this is a really key time to take a couple moments, fill in on that side area, what's a goal you have for yourself? You might say, I'm pretty organized. Well, then what is that one thing that you don't want to let up on? It could be organizing even something that isn't school related. I need to go home and organize my closet because I can't find my pair of shoes. Or it could be, I really need to be better about organizing my room. It could be your desk. It could be getting information on that planner. So, what's one goal that you can either start doing or that you really want to continue on? Because you know, if you let off, if you get distracted from that goal, things will start to fall apart. So, love to hear about your goals, students. We all need them. Students, parents, adults, all of us alike. We need those goals. So, thanks for participating. Thanks for watching this, and watch out for those invisible walls because that stress comes from inside of us and outside of us. It's really what we're talking about today is how to manage or how to navigate those external outside stressors that are like an invisible wall. So thanks again.